This conference will now be recorded.
What is a substring and what is an in-string? So anyone can tell. What do you mean by substring and in-string?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Yes, sir. In-string is a single word.
Sorry.
In-string is a single letter, like
In-string gives a position
In-string.
number.
Correct.
Position number of a
So
particular character.
yes, correct.
String is used to extract a particular portion of a character. String.
String, right. So basically, in-string will return number, substring will return a character information.
Yeah.
Now, my requirement is, okay, I'll give you this requirement. Select. So my requirement is I would like to replace A. Okay, I would like to replace the character A with the character X. Okay. So this is my requirement.
This is my requirement.
So my requirement is I would like to replace character A with the character X. So if I replace, right? So what would be the new string? So this is the original string. If I replace, right? So wherever there is A, it will be replaced with X, correct? So that is my requirement. So how to achieve this requirement? Okay, so this is my expected output. So for that, we have a function called replace. So replace character A with character X from dual. Can you see here? Wherever there is A, it is replaced with character X. Clear? So this is the syntax of a replace. What is the syntax? String and the character that you want to replace. This is the character that will be replaced. Okay. Clear. So you are clear, right? Now, what if I give like this? I would like to replace character A with the, see, if I give two single quotes, right? Two single quotes without space is called null. Okay. Two single quotes without space is called null. So if I try to do this one, right? Wherever there is A, it will be replaced with a null, which means there will be no character. Okay? See, there will be no character. A is not there. Here A is not there. Okay. KRISHN, A will not be there. Okay. So wherever A is there, you are just replacing with null. Null means no character. Clear? Two single quotes is called a null.
yes.
Now, see, if you confuse, you can put a null keyword also. Okay. Null keyword also. This will also return the same result. Okay. See, please note down in any book Two single quotes without space is called null. Okay, this is also null. Clear, right? Now, we have one more thing called the same requirement can be achieved with one more function. See, replace is a function. Okay, one more function called translate. Okay, translate. Translate is also one more function which will be used to perform the same operation what replace does. It is being word called translate. See, whatever what it is saying, yeah. I'm not getting anything. See, now you see the difference, right? What is the difference between replace and translate? So if you replace any character with a null, that is not possible by using translate operation. So the result will be null. Clear, right? See, whatever you are doing with replace, you can do the same operation with translate. But what is the exception? What is the restriction? You cannot replace a character with a null value in translate. Okay, if you try to do that, you'll get a null value. Okay, clear, right? And I'll tell you one more difference between replace and translate. Okay, so you know, right? OLs, right? Okay, now my requirement is wherever there is a OL, I would like to replace with X. That is my requirement. Here, wherever there is a OL, I would like to replace with X. So let me return the requirement. Let's forget about this. I'll give a simple example. I would like to replace A with character X and I with a character Y. Okay, and O with a character, let's say Z. Okay, let's take this simple example. So try to observe. See, wherever there is a, it is being replaced with EX. Okay, wherever there is a I, it is replaced with Y. Okay, wherever there is O, it is replaced with Z. Can you see the output? So what do you mean by a translate? Translate is a character to character. Okay, character to character replacement. See, wherever there is A, it will be replaced with X. Wherever there is I, it will be replaced with Y. Wherever there is O, it will be replaced with Z. Clear? Okay, I will give you one more example so that you get the clarity. Okay. Tell me, what if I try to give with the X keyword? Sorry, I'm just replacing with X. Now tell me what will happen. What will happen in this case? I'm using translate. See, wherever there is A, that will be replaced with
X.
okay.
Yeah.
And what about I and O? It will become null. Do you see any I here? I and O? No, right?
No.
So this first character will be replaced with X. But for the second character, there is no value. So null. For the third character, there is no value. So that is a null.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yes.
See, they'll ask you in the interview, what is the difference between replace and translate? Okay. Now let's say you have some like this. You're going to replace A with X, Y, Z. Now tell me what will happen in this case.
In place of A, it will be
It will be
X.
correct. That is correct. Okay. But for the same requirement, if you try to, let's say, use replace, so what will happen?
Instead of
Wherever
A, X,
there
Y,
is
Z.
correct.
X, Y,
Okay.
Z.
So
Yeah.
finally, what I'll conclude is replace, okay, a single character can be replaced with a word. Okay. Translate. It is a character to character. It's a character to character. Translation. Okay. Character to character. Okay. Single character can be replaced with only single character, but you cannot replace a single character with a word. Okay. You are able to follow, right? A single character cannot be replaced with a word. Okay, in translate, it is a character to character. So that's all about replace and translate. Now, my requirement is I would like to get the number of times the word A present in the string. Select this is my string. Okay, what I would like to do is if I run a query, right, it has to return 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so A is repeated 5 times, right? How many times A is repeated? 4 times. 1 2 3 4 5 5 times, right? So I should get the number. Okay, that is my requirement. So anyone wants to like give this query? So ela చేయొచ్చు. So this is my string. How can I say that A is present at 5 instances? Okay, the number of times A is repeated in a string is 5. How can I do that? Okay, I'll give a hint. Now tell me, what is the length of the string? What is the length of the string? Select length of from dual. What is the length? 23rd, 22. Okay, 22. So if I say 22 minus, how many times A is repeated? 1 2 3 4 5 times, right?
Yes.
So 17 equal to 5, right? 22 minus 17. So 22 means the total length of the string. What is 17? How you are
Without
going
A.
to derive? Without A is 17, correct? Yes, perfect. Without A, how can you get a like string without A? How can you get a string without a?
Sub.
Select the replace of this string. Replace. What are you going to replace? You're going to replace a with
null.
null. Okay, null. If you do this, so what you're going to get? You're going to get the string without a. Now calculate the length of this whole thing. Okay, length of this whole thing. What is the length? 17, right? Now I'll derive this formula. 22 means the total length, right? Total length. Okay. Select 22 minus 17 from dual. What is the output? 5, right? Now let me derive this. How can I derive this? Select 22. Instead of 22, I can write this one, right?
Yeah.
Instead of 17, I can write this. 17, I can write this. Run this. 5, right?
Yes.
Here?
Yeah.
Yes. సింపుల్ గా అంటే మీకు ఒక ఫంక్షన్ ఉంది సింపుల్ గా వాట్ వుడ్ లైక్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ వుడ్ లైక్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ a from dual. Yeah, so this function also will give you the same result, but I'll explain this later. But I'm just trying to let you know that there is another way to get the count of a particular character in a given string. So you're clear, right? Now my requirement is, let's say I have a table, create table, policy, let's say policy details, policy number, policy name. Policy number is this is a policy. Policy name is let's say some name bracket to 100. Okay, some issue it's a number. Let's say tenure. Tenure is, let's say some, it is also so. Let's take LIC policy. And you know, right, in LIC we have n number of plans, right? Jeevanam, Jeevan Jyoti, some different things, right? So let's say policy number 1 is let's say Jeevanam. You might have heard of this word, right? LIC policy. Right? This is one policy. Sum issued, let's say 5 lakhs. And maturity, let's say 50 years. Okay, 50 years. Okay, using select here, insert into values, right? One row inserted. Okay, now let's say every year they'll introduce different plans, right? Okay, so let's say Jeevanand is one, and the next thing is Jeevan Jyoti, some other thing. Let's say the policy number is 2. Okay, the sum assured is, let's say 4 lakhs. Tenure is 50 years. Okay? Now my requirement is these numbers, right? Okay, how they're going to like shape. Please see, let's say in a year if they introduce like 50 plans. Okay, so the numbers should start from 1 to 50, right? Correct. Let's say they are running this LIC business from, let's say, from past 30 years. Okay, if they introduce every year 100 plans, right, then how many policy numbers will be there? let's say instead of policy number, I'll say policy, let's say plan number. Plan underscore number, okay? Or plan ID, okay? Plan ID. Let me rename this column, alter table, table name, rename column name to policy plan ID. Okay, it got renamed. Now tell me, they are running this LIC business for the past 50 years. So let's assume every year they're introducing 100 new plans. Now tell me what would be the like current policy, current plan ID. So let's assume Jan 2020. Okay. Or let's take December 2019. December 2019. Okay. So as of like 31st December 2019, how many policy IDs will be there in this table? In the policy details table, let's assume they're running the business for the past 30 years and they're introducing 100 new plans every year. Now, as of December 31st, 2019, how many plan IDs will be there in my table? Chandana.
We can predict it.
We can't predict that. No, I'm telling that I'm giving you an example. They are running the business from the past 30 years and every year they're introducing 100 new plans. Now tell me, as of 31st December 2019, how many plan IDs will be there in my table?
100.
100.
Yeah.
Every year 100, and they're running the business from the past 30 years. 30 into 100, right?
Yeah.
3000.
3000 plan IDs will be there in my table. Okay. Okay. So what they like, see, every year 100, right? So let's say 30 years back means to 1970, right? 1970. So in 1970, the sequence, I mean, the plan ID will be from 1 to 100. In 1971, it will be from 101 to 200. In 72, it will be from 201 to 300. Okay. Now tell me, in 2020, what is the starting plan ID and what is the ending plan ID? Or tell me in 2019, what is the starting plan ID, ending plan ID? 2020. Okay, fine. So let's say you don't want to remember the plan IDs, right? Okay. So every year 100, right? So my requirement is I would like to this plan ID should generate automatically, so that I don't want to. I mean, I don't remember these plan IDs. Okay. So if there is any facility to like auto generate this number, right? There is no need of remembering the number, right? Okay. So I know every year 100 plans. Some year it may increase to like 200 plans also. But I don't want to enter any value in this column. It should be auto populated. Okay. That is my requirement. Clear? See, generally, if you take any LIC policy, right, they'll give a policy number, correct? So let's say for two like customers, will they give the same policy number for the different plans?
No, sir.
Right. So they wanted to make it as unique. Okay. So you know, right? What do you mean by unique? Unique means no duplicates.
Yeah.
Because so generally the policy ID, right? They will not enter it manually, so it will be an auto populated column. Okay. I'll tell you how they will populate automatically. I'll just show you. So I'll introduce one new concept, new Oracle object called sequence. Okay. Now tell me, what are the Oracle objects that you know, that you heard? What are Oracle objects? What are Oracle objects? Jay?
Table view.
Correct. Okay. See, whatever you are seeing here, right? Table, view, index, package, procedure, function, triggers, types, sequences, material views. Okay, material view logs, synonyms, public synonyms, database links. These all are called Oracle database objects. Okay. So just remember this one, Oracle database objects. Now we are going to learn about sequence. What do you mean by sequence? Sequence is nothing but it's an auto-populated number. Okay. So here you will use two pseudo columns. Pseudo columns. I'll tell you what do you mean by pseudo columns, but try to remember next val and cur val. Okay. So these two are called pseudo columns. Pseudo columns are nothing but the columns which are populated automatically. Pseudo columns are nothing but the columns which are not populated by user. Okay. In other words, what we can say, these columns will be populated automatically. Okay. In other words, what we can say, these values or these values, the values, these values will be populated automatically. Okay. So I told you two pseudo columns are nothing but next val and cur val. So we have many pseudo columns, but so today we'll learn about next val and cur val. Okay. Where can you check the sequences? Where can you check the tables information? Anyone? Where can you check the tables information?
From
In table.
Sorry?
user underscore.
Correct. User underscore tables. User underscore
Tables.
tables. Similarly, sequences can be verified in user underscore sequences. In user underscore sequences, you can able to see the sequence information. So currently you don't have any sequences. Now let me create a sequence. Create sequence name. Okay. Create sequence name. So this is the syntax to create a sequence. Okay. Now let me create a sequence. Create sequence S1 semicolon. Okay, sequence got created. Try to verify in user underscore sequences. So can you able to see here? So this is a sequence name. Minimum value, maximum value, increment by, cycle flag, order flag, cache, last number. Okay. Anyway, just don't concentrate on these columns, but try to see the sequence. This is a sequence. Okay. Now let me insert few records. Insert into this table, policy details. Okay, before inserting records into this table, what I will do is I'll delete the record from this table, delete from policy details. So I have deleted details. So I have deleted two records. I have given commit. Now I will not have any records in my table policy underscore details. Let me check the details. Select star from. Okay, right. Fine. Now what I will do is I'll try to insert a record, but I don't want to give any value here. What I'll do is I'll use this sequence S1 dot next val. Okay. s1 dot next val. Okay, here also s1 dot next val. Try to run this. Beacon does not exist. S1, right? Yeah, we entered 2 records. So have you given any name, any value for this column? You're just using a sequence. So this will take care of the policy IDs. Can you see here? 1, 2. Let me insert one more record. This on the next 12. Let's say LIC. Okay. Insert. Verify the details. Okay, 3. So this is how they will populate the like policy number, account number. Okay, any sequence they'll populate like this. Okay, so if you go to a like supermarket, right, you'll get a bill number, right? So no two customers will have the same bill number, correct? Or invoice number, whatever it may be. Okay, so they'll use this particular object called sequence. So they won't enter any value here. They'll just use this sequence. Now you understood, right? What do you mean by sequence? Yes.
Yes, Bala.
Okay, I'll tell you one more requirement. So here, how the sequence is incrementing? 1, right? It is incrementing by 1, correct? So if you observe the sequence, right? This is sequence name. Forget about minimum value, maximum value. You just forget about these columns. What is this increment by 1, right? So it is incrementing by 1. But what I would like to do is I would like to create a sequence where it should increment by 5. Okay, it should increment by 5. Okay, let me create a sequence. Let's say the sequence is s2. Create sequence name, start with, okay, start with 1, increment by 5, minimum value, let's say okay, let me give the minimum value as 1. Okay, and max value I'm giving as 20. Let's say, yeah, 20. I'll give 20. Okay. Okay, I just created a sequence. It is saying sequence got created. Let's go and verify user underscore sequences. Now your concentration is on S2. Minimum value is 1 because I have given a minimum value of 1, right? And maximum value 20. This is 20. What is this increment by? 5. Okay. Anyways, I'll come to this later. But try to concentrate on these 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 columns. Now you understood, right? What do you mean by a start with? What do you mean by increment? Minimum value, maximum value. I'll tell you what is the minimum value. Okay. Now let me insert the values. This time, let me delete the records. I deleted the records, 3 records I deleted, and I have given commit, and I'm using it this time ES2. I'm using ES2. Okay, ES2. Okay, let me insert. Now tell me what would be the first value. Anyone? Huh? What is the first value that will insert?
1, Bala. 1.
1. Okay, why 1?
Because minimum value is 1.
No. That is wrong. Because I said start with is 1. Okay,
Okay.
start with this one. That is the reason the first value is 1. Now I'm inserting second record. Now tell me what would be the value?
5.
5.
No, 6.
6.
Increment by 5. 1 plus 5.
6.
6, right? Now tell me this for this one.
11.
7 plus 5. 6 plus 5. Okay, 11. Okay, I'll take one more thing. LIC from LIC Anand. Here 17, huh? 16. Okay, 16. Now what will happen if I insert one more record? This time it is saying, let's say LIC 1. Okay, LIC 1. Now tell me what will happen in this case. Anyone?
It will not accept further.
Okay, it throws an error. Why it will throws an error? You already have 16, but what is the maximum value? 20. 16 plus 5, 21. That is the reason
21.
it is saying sequence exceed the maximum value and cannot be initiated. Sequence reaches to the maximum value and cannot be initiated. So because you're just saying that you know that the sequence already reached the maximum value, so that you cannot generate a sequence. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to increase the maximum value. Okay, how to increase the maximum value? Alter sequence name. Okay, max value, I'm giving the
Yes,
maximum
to
value,
Bala.
let's say 30. Okay, yes2. Okay, yes2, max value I'm giving as 30. Okay, it is saying sequence altered. Now try to run this. Okay, verify the values. It is 21. Clear?
Yes.
21. Now insert one more thing. Sorry. And let me insert LIC2 and one more record LIC3. Okay, LIC3. Let me insert this. I won't get an issue here. I'll get an issue because it reaches to the maximum value 30. Clear? అర్థమైందండి ఇది? Okay, now my requirement is once it reaches to the maximum value, it has to start from the, okay, I'll give you the requirement. Okay, just verify the sequence details, user underscore sequences. If you observe right, we're going to learn about the column called cycle. Okay, now we'll learn about cycle. What do you mean by cycle? What is meant by cycle? Once it reaches to the maximum value, it will again start from the first. That is nothing but a cycle. Okay, so here if you observe right, what it is saying, cycle is n, right? Cycle is n means it won't start from the first value because cycle flag is n. Now I want to change the cycle flag, okay, to y. Alter sequence name, alter sequence name cycle. Okay, cycle. Okay, cycle. You can say what we saying, number to cache value must be less than 1 cycle. See what is saying, number to cache value must be less than 1 cycle. I'll explain you this one. See, if I try to change it to cycle, right, it is throwing an error saying that number to cache value must be less than one cycle. Okay, I'll explain you this issue why we got this error. Let me check the user underscore sequences. If you observe here, right, what is the cache size? 20, right? 20 into 5, how much? See, 20 into 5, how much?
100.
100.
100.
Okay, 100, right? So which means the maximum value should be 100. 20 into 5, 100. See, you need to check these two things, cache size and increment by. Okay, so 20 into 5, it should be the maximum value. So how you're going to calculate the maximum value? So the maximum value should be in such a way that, so if it is cycle, see, if you want to repeat, right, see, by default it will be cache size will be 20. See, if you don't understand, just try to remember this formula. So cache size will be always 20 and the increment by will be 5. So if you want to make the cycle flag as y, in that case the maximum value should be the multiplication of cache size into increment by. Okay, if the maximum value is 100, in this case you can increment the, you can change the cycle flag. So I would like to increment the maximum value, alter sequence name maximum value, right? Maximum value I'm giving as 100. I just changed it. Now let me change it to cycle. Okay, now the cycle got changed. Verify in user underscore sequences. Select star from user underscore sequences. See, it is y, right? Now it changed to y. So when it will change to y, the cache size into increment by is greater than or equal to maximum value, then we can change the cycle flag from n to y. చందన అర్థం కాలేదా?
అర్థమైంది.
ఓకే, ఎవరికైనా డౌట్ ఉందండి ఇది? సి బ్లైండ్ గా మీరు ఫార్ములా గుర్తుపెట్టేసుకోండి. మీరు సరే ఇప్పుడు ఇది చేంజ్ చేస్తారు. ఎస్, సి మీరు సైకిల్ ఫ్లాగ్ n నుంచి y కి చేంజ్ చేయాలి అంటే cache size, the maximum value should be greater than or equal to cache size into increment. Okay, then you can able to change the cycle flag from n to y. Okay, now what I have done, I have changed the cycle flag to y. Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, can you just give me 1 minute? Hello. Yeah. Fine. Now sequence ని ఎలా కాల్ చేయొచ్చు అంటే s2 డాట్ See, మీరు ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరా, what is the current value of the sequence? What is the current value of the sequence? What is the current value of the sequence?
Huh.
Hmm?
100.
No, current value. Curval from dual. So ఇది మీరు run చేస్తే it is saying the current value is 26. Okay, the current value is 26. And what is the next value? Next value.
Sir, how it is 20?
Current value. So it shows the current value of the sequence. The current value of the sequence is 26. మీరు టేబుల్లో చెక్ చేస్తే, పాలసీ డీటెయిల్స్ టేబుల్లో చెక్ చేస్తే, see, this is the last number, right? So this is the current value of the sequence. Okay, అర్థం కాలేదా మీకు? మళ్ళీ చెప్తా చూడండి. ఓకే ఫైన్. ఇప్పుడు నేను s2 డాట్ నెక్స్ట్ వాల్యూ అంటున్నా, ఏమొస్తుంది? 31 వచ్చింది. వాట్ ఇస్ ద కరెంట్ వాల్యూ? 31. నెక్స్ట్ వాల్యూ 36. వాట్ ఇస్ ద కరెంట్ సీక్వెన్స్ వాల్యూ? 36. So if you generate a sequence like 1 2 3, okay, now what is the current value? 51. Okay, so if you want to know the current value of the sequence, you can use curval. If you want to see what is the next value, you can use next value. 56. Correct? అర్థమైందండి? Yes. Okay, now what is the current value? 96. Now tell me, what will happen if I run this one? What is the maximum value? 100, right?
100, sir.
If I run this one, what will happen? What would be the next value?
It will start from beginning.
Not one.
Yes. 2.
It will start from. Okay, so if you want to know, try to see here. You know that the maximum value is 100. Now you know the current value of the sequence. It is 96. Okay, you know what the increment number? 5. 96 plus 5, 101. So it reaches to the maximum value. What is the cycle flag? Y. Okay, so once it reaches to the maximum value, if the cycle flag is Y, then the sequence will start from minimum value. Okay, 1. Clear? Okay, I'll give you one more example. Create sequence S3. Okay, sequence S3 start with 2, increment by let's say let's say 3. Minimum value I'm giving as 1. Max value I'm giving as 10. Cycle. Okay, number 2 cache value must be less than 1 cycle. See, when I'm giving cycle, right, what is the formula? Why you got this error? Number 2 cache value must be less than 1 cycle. So 20 into 3, 60. The maximum value should be 60. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
If I have to use a cycle, the maximum value can be derived from 20 into 3. or try to run this one. Okay, sequence got created. If I run this, select S3 dot next val from dual. Okay, next val from dual. సో దీనికంటే ముందర మీరు కర్ వాల్యూ చూడాలనుకోండి. వాట్ ఇస్ ద కరెంట్ వాల్యూ సీక్వెన్స్? సి నెక్స్ట్ వాల్ ఒక సెషన్లో మీరు SQL డెవలపర్ సెషన్ ఓపెన్ చేశారు. ఒక సెషన్లో మీరు నెక్స్ట్ వాల్ ఫస్ట్ రన్ చేయాలి. నెక్స్ట్ వాల్యూ కాకుండా మళ్ళీ చేద్దాం చూడండి. మీరు ఒక సీక్వెన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు. ఓకే, సీక్వెన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన వెంటనే మీరు కర్ వాల్యూ వాట్ ఇస్ ద కరెంట్ వాల్యూ అని చూడాలంటే ఇట్ థ్రోస్ ఎన్ ఎర్రర్. ఓకే, ఇట్ విల్ థ్రోస్ ఎన్ ఎర్రర్ because it says the sequence is not yet initiated. You'll get that message. See, kar value is not yet been defined in this session అని వస్తుంది అనమాట. ఫస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్ మీరు సీక్వెన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి దాని తర్వాత మీరు కనుక నెక్స్ట్ వాల్యూ ఇవ్వకుండా కొత్త సెషన్ లో కర్ వాల్యూ చూడాలంటే చూడలేరు అనమాట. ఇది రన్ చేయండి. 2 వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి కరెంట్ వాల్యూ 2. Okay, let me run this for like a couple of times until it reaches to the 60. Okay, 53, 56, 59. Now tell me what would be the next value of the sequence. What would be the next value of the sequence?
2.
Start. 1.
So it starts.
మళ్ళీ చెప్పు చూడండి. Select star from user underscore sequences. ఇక్కడ చూస్తే S3 గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాం. స్టార్ట్ విత్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది? అదే ఇక్కడ స్టార్ట్ విత్ లేదండి, ఇక్కడ యా ఇంక్రిమెంట్ బై 3. ఓకే, స్టార్ట్ విత్ 2 అన్నా నేను. ఓకే, స్టార్ట్ విత్ 2. సో స్టార్ట్ విత్ 2 అంటే 2తో స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. Starting the sequence. Okay, anyways, I'll tell you one more time. I'm giving getting new sequence S4. Okay, if I say S4 dot next val, what will happen? It will start from 2, right?
Yes.
It will start from 2 because the start with is 2. Okay,
2.
now let the sequence, let me generate that sequence. సింపుల్ కానీ కాన్సెప్ట్ మీకు పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా రావాలంటే మీకు అన్ని సినారియోస్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, సో యూ జస్ట్ రీచ్ టు ద maximum value. Anyways, you know that the maximum value is 60, but if you generate a next value, if you generate a next sequence, what would be the starting value? Is it going to be 2 or 1? Anyone?
సార్ ముందు దాంట్లో మీరు ఇంతకు ముందు అష్రఫ్ అనుకుంటా ఇంతకు ముందు మినిమం వాల్యూ చెప్పినప్పుడు ఇట్ స్టార్ట్స్ విత్ 1 కాబట్టి 1 వస్తుంది అన్నారు కదా, మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ 1 ఎందుకు?
Let me see. Once the sequence reaches to the maximum value, it will start with minimum value. Minimum value what I have given 1. Okay, start with will always the starting value of the sequence. Increment by the increment number. Once if the cycle flag is y, and if the sequence reaches to the maximum value, then the sequence value will start from minimum value.
Okay.
Okay, if I run this, I will get 1. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
మీకు ఇంకా అర్థం కావాలంటే I'm giving a starting value is 1. Okay,
Okay.
minimum value I'm giving as 2. Okay, and try to run this. Anyways, you'll get an error. Sorry, S5, right? Okay, create the sequence. What it is saying? The start with cannot be less than the minimum value. Okay,
Okay.
the start with cannot be less than the minimum value. Okay, let me give the start with as 4. Okay, the minimum value I'm giving as 2.
Okay.
Right. Let me run this sequence created S5, right? Now let me run this. Now if I run this, tell me what would be the starting value of the sequence.
4.
Correct, 4. What is the next value? 4 plus 3, 7.
7.
Okay, let it run for
Till 6.
yeah, until it reaches to the max value. We'll just generate the sequence. Okay, now it reached to the maximum value. Now tell me, okay, 60, right? 52, 55, 58, right? Now what would be the next value of the sequence? What
2.
would be the next value of the sequence? 2,
2.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, now you know what is meant by a start with, what is the increment by, what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, and what do you mean by cycle. Okay, now
Yes.
let me query this user underscore sequences. So you know sequence name, minimum value, maximum value, increment by, cycle. Okay, you know cache. Cache is nothing but by default it is 20. Okay, anyways, this order by, like, it is not required. So this is all about sequence. So why we use sequence? Generally sequence will be used to generate unique numbers. Clear? Sequence will be used to generate unique numbers. See, generally we won't give cycle, okay, because we don't want to repeat the policy numbers, right? So generally we won't give cycle option, but I mean there may be some cases where they want to, like, enable the cycle. Okay, so that is the reason I have explained you everything. So that's all about sequence. You should remember the error messages. So based on the error, you have to tell what, I mean, where exactly the problem is. Clear? అర్థమైందండి?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm stopping here. See, the concept is very straightforward, but you should understand the like different parameters or different options that are available. Any questions? Save this class notes. Let me attach to the email. ఇంకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయండి ఈరోజు చెప్పిన కాన్సెప్ట్ లో? క్లియర్? సో మీకు క్లియర్ అయితే ఒక మీకు అసైన్మెంట్ ఇస్తాను. మీరు ఒక బ్లాక్ రాయాలి. సో ఆ బ్లాక్ లో మీరు ఒక 10 ఇన్సర్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ పెట్టండి. పెట్టి ఎన్ని రికార్డ్స్ ఇన్సర్ట్ అయినాయో, ఓకే ఫైన్, మీకు 10 ఇన్సర్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ పెట్టండి. లేదంటే ఇంకొకటి చెప్పండి, ఇంకో పని చేయొచ్చు మీరు. డేస్. నేను మీకు రేపు చెప్తాను రిక్వైర్మెంట్. సో ఇది ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి మీరు. ఇది కంప్లీట్ చేస్తే నేను మీకు అసైన్మెంట్ ఇస్తాను.